What up, good people out there in the world? You already know who it is. You got your three favorite guys from your favorite podcast, the Three Man Weave Podcast, which is always your favorite guy, Cannon. Also, I got with me
your other favorite guy, your boy Hill. Hill going Hill regardless, baby. Let's get it.
And then you have AJ, the black sheep of the trio, Williams. I guess I'm the least favorite guy. I mean, I guess I can be a favorite, but if this is your favorite, Cannon's your favorite, and Hill is the second favorite, I'm just the favorite, I guess.
Yeah. You know.
Well, look, you can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave. _ you can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Listen to everybody that joined us on our Facebook Live that we tried to do. We had an audio issue, so instead of just trying to fix it on the fly and waste y'all time, we just decided to end it. So next time when we do it, it's going to be 100% correct.
Yeah.
We're going to hit our guys up. We're going to get a tutorial on it, and so. Of course, we could have just tried to fix it on the fly and just kept delaying. Y'all ain't doing nothing but so much anyway. But we respect y'all time because y'all spending y'all time with us. So we decided to end that and come to y'all correctly.
Absolutely.
So y'all gonna catch us on YouTube as some of y'all do. Y'all gonna catch us on all major podcast platforms like y'all normally do. And we're gonna just continue to try to progress and get better. And sometimes you fumble. I mean, we tried to go for the Hail Mary and AJ didn't catch it. I mean, it is what it is.
Excuse me?
You the tall one. You the tall one. That's why I see how I knew you gonna get offended. You throw the Hail Mary to the tall guy.
But the short guy bumped me because he wanted to be the star, and so he knocked me out the way.
Hey, you
supposed to come see you, Otis.
Get ready and stay ready at all times, man.
You already know. Episode 71,
Big
Saturday.
71.
Hold on. You think you at brunch?
Yeah, man. I'm living my best life, man. I gotta do things to excite myself in the crib, man. And it's like this ain't even my normal swag, but it's like, bro, I'm tired of the same old. So it's like I got to switch it up, man. I'm at brunch, man. There's some bacon out there on the counter.
You even talking differently.
He got put the see. I guarantee you, if we pan the camera, he got the brunch boots on with some rips in his jeans.
Man, I'm in the house. I ain't got no shoes on, but
who is he?
I got some brunch boots now. Don't get it twisted.
Now, I'm about to say now, unfortunately, but this is a good celebration aspect of the time for you, AJ. You're going through, you're celebrating Ramadan, right?
Absolutely.
And I always commend you at this point. This is when I get a keen respect for you at this time of the year. I never told you that, but like,
and he only respected me 1 month out of 12.
I mean, that's a fact. You better take it. Other than you, like me personally, I know my uncle. I know he's going through it, but closely, you and my bro Salim, y'all go through it. And y'all put your head up, and y'all take it in stride. I think it's tough, to be quite honest, because I don't have to go through it. But like I said, I get a respect for y'all. Personally, Cannon been researching it. He may be doing it or been trying to do it. Never. I just respect. I respect Ramadan. I'm not Islamic or
I get you.
Muslim, but I don't know what to say. But I just know.
Right.
Well, you said it well. You said it well, man.
So, it's not meant to be easy. It's not something that you can just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock this out." It's like, I won't use that analogy because Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity is a non-hazing organization. What I will say is it's just meant to really teach you how to appreciate the things that you have. It teaches you how to, gain that mental clarity. It's a time for, praise, prayer, worship, and really understanding the important things are putting yourself in the shoes of the less fortunate. That's one of the reasons for the fast is to understand that there are people out there who don't, have the meals, but it's also a way to cleanse your body. One of the biggest weight loss trends and health trends is actually fasting. A lot of people do intermittent fasting. I actually do intermittent fasting on a daily. So
that's the best thing that works for me.
Yeah. So when it actually comes time for Ramadan, the hardest part for me is not the fasting of food. It's more so of the water, not being able to drink anything throughout the day.
Yes,
and so it's about 14 hours. So really, with a newborn, it's been hard just because usually you get up around 5, 6 o'clock so you can eat before the sun comes up. But if your newborn has you up at 4 o'clock and then you're trying to get some sleep, and then it's like, shoot, I gotta wake up in another hour. So now I'm up, and so it's throwing me off a little bit. But usually these first couple of days are usually the hardest. But after that, I usually get in the groove and I breeze right through. 21 more days left, so I'm ready. I'm good.
Yeah, man. To piggyback off that, I always get invited. That's one thing I like about the Islamic religion. It's so inviting. Every year, lots of people that I know that participate in Ramadan, they always invite me to partake. And like Hill said, I've been doing more and more research. I literally I wanted to participate this year, but I did my research too late. And like when I found out everything that I needed to be, is like I don't know if I did enough preparation beforehand of being ready for the liquid part of it. Like you said, AJ, I'm good with the food part. But I don't know if I'm in a spot in my life yet where I can go without the liquid. But the beauty part of the religion is you could take baby steps and you could do what you can do. Any
That's the
sacrifice,
beauty of it.
yeah, any sacrifice that you can make,
Grab a dog, choke
for what you believe in is ultimately, and it's like it goes perfect with your analogy with Kappa because regardless of us being a non-hazing organization, if you want to become a member of Kappa or probably any other fraternity or sorority, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. Now, some sacrifices are different. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be, whatever. But you're going to have to make a sacrifice to achieve that goal. And I think ultimately people, who participate in Ramadan, they want to find enlightenment every year. They want to also, as a year passes, you want to be a better you than you were last year. So if it's like I could fast at the end of a year and try to do away with those things that weren't productive to me the year before, I think it's just a great thing and a great outlook on life.
Only reason why I got like a high respect for it because I know people that go through Lent and like I've participated in Lent numerous times, but I was just counting down the days of, let me hurry up and get to back what I gave up Lent for. Yeah. So like, was I really participating like to the highest degree, or was I just doing a countdown? Was I following a trend? So the people that take Lent seriously, I commend you all as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? No, but just take it seriously. If you're going to do whichever you decide to do, just take it serious and do what it's supposed to be for.
Now,
so you can become a better person.
Real quick, Hill, Lent, and that's another thing. That's a beauty of religion, period. Lent saved my life. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. In college, Hill, AJ, I used to smoke Black and Milds, and I used to chain smoke them, and I was starting to have issues like with my lymph nodes, like around my neck, and I would inhale a black and it would still hurt and I would still keep doing it to myself, right? So I knew like smoking was a problem, but it was like just being ignorant and just wanting to just feel like I had to smoke a black, right? And so I called Ralph, our bro, and he probably don't even know this story, right? It was literally his birthday. And I called him and I was bored. I said, bro, what you doing? I said, it's your birthday, drinks on me, we out, right? And he literally said, bro, thank you so much. I wish I could, but it's Lent. And I gave up alcohol for Lent, right? And so I was impressed because at the time Ralph was like a drinker, and I was like,
Yeah.
he's turning down free alcohol, and I was like, yo, that inspired me, yo. I was like, I want to give up something for Lent too, and he said, what you gonna give up, bro? And I said, I'm gonna give up something that's I know I need to give up. I said I'm gonna try my best to. I'm not gonna smoke blacks during Lent, right? And so I started that, man, and I'm telling 48 hours into this Lent Hill, I felt 10 times better. And so I literally went and I prayed to God. I said, God,
God damn it.
I said,
listen,
God.
on the best part of it.
I said,
Yeah.
God, I said, I haven't smoked a black in 2 days. I said, I'm gonna finish this Lent thing out. And I said, if it's your will, I want to be done with blacks forever. And I ain't smoked a black since, bro. I ain't smoked a black since. And I almost did at our first anniversary at Park, when I first moved up here. But it was like they had just passed the law that you couldn't smoke inside the buildings no more, and it was freezing that day. And I was about to go outside on a little smoke deck, and when I stepped out there, it was so cold. I just gave the black to a dude, and I walked back in, man. But Ralph saved me, yo.
Man, I've always said smoking is like I really feel bad for people who are addicted to like cigarettes and just whatever the smoking, because if you are addicted to something that'll make you stand outside in freezing weather, just to get a fix of that, oh, that's a problem. You have a problem. Like, like I'm not like you don't just stand outside just cause. Like I'm not about to just stand outside in the freezing cold to eat a taco.
No,
like that's a problem. Like you, like, I really feel bad for people who have like addictions to cigarettes, like nicotine in general, crack. People suck dick for that.
Whoa, like
that's a fact.
Okay,
though. That's a fact. Shout out to Ralph though for saving my life, man.
Got a question. Do y'all watch Insecure?
Absolutely.
Let me preface it like this. I watch it reluctantly through the views of a hater. And that's just how it is.
And this y'all favorite guy.
But I do watch it. But at least I'm telling the truth. Like I could be a hater and lie about it like most haters do.
Don't tell the truth on this podcast.
I mean, no, we do. But I'm just saying, most haters deny being a hater, right or wrong.
Yeah.
True.
But we also need to work on that definition of a hater, but that's a topic for another time.
That is very true. Yeah,
so look, right, I had a quick little tangent going on. Growing up, in my era, kids was wilding. They was blowing up schools, shooting up schools. They was wilding out. So my mom made a conscious effort. She said, you know what? I'm about to pay attention to you a little bit more than what I'm doing.
Donald, get your ass on this porch.
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So I had to spend more time with her. So what she came up with was we had to watch TV one night of the week.
Together?
So I was not, together. I wasn't gonna give up none of my wrestling days, none of my prime days that I really watched my shows by myself.
Monday night.
But what happened was I ended up gravitating toward basically female shows. Mm-hmm. So Insecure that's right up my alley, if that's the case.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't text a few people. I'm only in the Lawrence Hive now for nostalgia purposes. He disappoints me every single week.
Yeah. Which is why I've never been in the Hive. Go ahead, AJ.
Fam, I really be sitting there. I be really sitting there watching the episode like, don't do that, Lawrence. And what'd he do?
Yeah.
Just like the last episode. Spoiler alert coming. So if you haven't seen last week's episode, what was it? Episode 2 or 3?
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen episode 3, please don't listen to it.
It's been plenty of time. Who cares? Go ahead.
So
it had time. It's pandemic.
As he's sitting there watching all his friends' story, I'm like, Issa's story gonna come up. He gonna say something.
He can't help himself.
And then I think I mentioned this to Hill, and I mentioned it to somebody else. I can't remember, but they were like, "What's so bad about just responding to the story?"
This is me. That was my question.
Yeah. So that was you. It's like, what's so bad to respond to the story? It's not responding to the story. It's not the reaction to the story that's going to be the problem. It's the fact that now, Lawrence, you have a shorty, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for one, they close. Like they cool. So
that's even worse.
You know how that's gonna happen. Like, oh yeah, Lawrence, he's been DMing me this and that. It's gonna come up, and there's no way that you can finesse that. I don't care even if you show the conversation. If you show the conversation, it's still not gonna look good. So it's just a hole that you really don't want to dig, especially with it being the awkwardness between the two. You get what I'm saying? So like. You didn't have to. The story wasn't that fire. You didn't have to send a reaction to the story.
It's the world we live in, man. Like people want to.
If you put it that way, because it was his ex, okay, I get it. You should not be. He should just block them if that's the case.
But he don't feel like it's nothing to hide though. So why block her?
And that's why all he did was hit the laughing emoji.
It's nothing to hide. And if anything, to me,
you know how anybody
looks thirsty
sexual partners I've had because of laughter?
It's Issa to me because one, you knew that was his shorty spot, right? You made sure that you were there to be seen. So it's like, who really hung on the other one?
And because she said it to herself when she was talking to her brother. Hold on, AJ. That's the part that you got mad at. That's not even. That's
the
part that got you disappointed in Lawrence.
No, I couldn't. No, trust me. That's just where I'm starting. That's just a starting point. It's just a starting point.
That is just a starting point.
Because when they was in the kitchen,
that's
what. Like
you
just went full hole, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. This is a starting point. This is a build up. This is a build up here. I just got the inbound. I'm coming up court.
It is a build
up.
You know me. And then I'll tell you why.
I'm coming up court.
That's why I'm not in the Hive, because it is a build up with Lawrence, man. And it's a build up for a letdown. That's why if you are in the Hive,
every single time, it's
out.
Just like, bro. And first off, like he's too emotional. Look at him. Emotional.
He's
emotional all the time.
He's a millennial man being portrayed like. Of course, they're gonna make him that's what they want.
But once Cannon, you know a Lawrence.
We all do.
I do know.
We all do.
I do have one friend who.
So it's accurate.
Yeah, he always like whatever. If a shorty say something, like he'll get down and all. He need to pick me up and everything, man.
A lot of you weren't raised on Pimp C and Too Short, and it shows.
Exactly.
Oh, it shows.
And so, like, but my whole thing with Lawrence is like, bro, you have it. You are here. You had your glow up. Like, you had your glow up. I think he glowed up with a woman too, because Issa, she basically asking his shorty for help.
Yeah, and how is that? Like, how is that possible?
That was just unfortunate. Like that was
it's unfortunate, but
coincidence,
It's unfortunate, but
I'm dead.
As Lawrence, isn't that kind of a good scenario for you? That's like a feather in your cap now. Like, this is my shorty, and like you need her.
No, I don't even want y'all to talk to each other. So
no, I understand that, but just going off of what happened.
Let it die.
Okay, let's dig deep in
that situation right then and there. Basically, your new girl is working with your ex-girl, and they talking, they trying to, they like each other, they friendly. What would you do right there?
I'm trying to sabotage a relationship. That's what I'm doing. I'm on some Joe. I listen. I'm gonna have to go Joe status if you're trying to infiltrate. If you're trying to infiltrate the confines of of my privacy.
So which status are we? Which Joe are we talking about?
You, Joe, from you.
I just wanted to make sure. You want to borrow this? You want to borrow this hat for a disguise?
Man. AJ, respond.
I get what you're saying. What would you do? I get what you're saying, but I'm just like I'm looking at it through the lens of emotional Lawrence. So emotional. I know I can't do that.
That's a plea.
But no. I'm just because nothing Lawrence is doing is like how I would do it. So for me personally, I'm like, for one, you shouldn't have texted her.
But just tell us how you.
Are you sure?
Oh, let's talk about it. So what Lawrence is doing?
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. But I'm just saying. I
get into it.
Every man has had. We got Lawrence. We relate to Lawrence in some way.
100%. But what I'm saying
I'm not gonna go deep.
It's a tough spot for Lawrence to be in.
And that's why I'm saying, as far as Lawrence, that's why I said he should have just never done it, because I know that Lawrence now is going to continue the conversation. He's going to continue to, not let himself focus on the relationship that he's in and continue to leave Issa out there and like, it's Issa. And then he thinks it's not that big of a deal. But Lawrence is going to get too emotionally involved and he's going to do something stupid.
Yep. At a party. They're going to be at a party together.
And that's why I'm saying that Lawrence should have never sent that reaction. And now, another thing that Lawrence shouldn't have did, why you being such a hoe in the kitchen, bro? Like come on. Like,
that's the part that I got mad at.
So what?
Just play it cool, bro. You Lawrence, dog.
Exactly. Like you don't.
You got your fly shirt on.
Not your fly shirt. Are you talking about when all her homegirls? I mean, when her peoples came over.
Nah, when they left, that's when he really got emotional.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did.
Because he was talking about. Is he just a fuck buddy?
Yeah. But he was emotional because his last girl cheated, and that's another reason why I don't like this thing. So they making him like a super emo person.
That's the best way to get over somebody.
But it's like, if you supposed to be getting over him that way, what you emotional about it for?
He had 2 girls after that.
And that's my whole point when it come to him, bro. Like, he not consistent. Like, I feel like
he consistent.
He consistently emotional.
Yeah, but it's like he not emotionally consistent. It's like it's a roller coaster with him. It's like
no, those are his emotions. That's why he's consistent. He's consistently a roller coaster.
He need to get them things under control, man. It's like if you're gonna be there and be super Mr. Fix-It and be the guy at a little gathering, just play the role, man. And what you want to be 100% booed up for anyway when you already know that she tight with Issa. I would have been glad when she said the buddy thing. I'm like, I don't really got to sabotage the relationship now. I can take my Joe hat off. I can relax.
Because he liked that girl.
Exactly. And that's his problem. Instead of just saying, like, so I think that, I like you and we should, continue to try and progress in our relationship. He just went straight I'm a fuck buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you never want to get married again?
Like, but you ain't even asked her though. Like, you ain't even established with her if you was more than that. So I can see if y'all said we go together, right? We boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you call me a fuck buddy in front of people. That's a different story.
And here's another reason why I was really mad at Lawrence about that conversation. Because with that conversation, by him bringing that up first, he didn't understand the tactic of women, and he lost control. Because as soon as he said that, she brought up Issa.
Yeah.
He lost control at that moment. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
And then he fell for it.
Exactly.
Bro, I looked over to my wife. I said, he fell for that shit.
And
she said, yep.
And that's my thing. It's like every single time, I'm like, I see it coming from a mile away.
I'm a hater, man. I watch through a hater's lens, which is why, because of that right there. It's
crazy. See, this is what it's just weird. Now, Molly, go ahead and deal with all that bull. Go holler at Melanin Uncorked for that, for her perspective. You know what I mean?
We ain't finna break down Molly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we ain't got time for Molly. I'm sick of Molly every show anyway. But that's just me. But the Lawrence perspective, we got that. You know what I'm saying? We got that, and we sick of it.
100%. So,
go ahead.
I got a hypothetical for y'all.
Oh Lord.
So, footage drop of a 53-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man. Whew.
And he still got it. He still got it. Bro. I'm telling you right now, if Tyson would just do some cardio, like get cardio.
Yeah.
I can name some heavyweights right now he could beat.
Absolutely. He could beat Ruiz. He could beat Ruiz.
What'd you say?
He could beat Ruiz.
And I literally think if he got his cardio right, he could probably beat Ruiz and he could beat Stavern for sure.
Yeah, because Stavern in terrible shape.
And so
go ahead. Is your hypothetical going further?
Mm-hmm. But it's not where it's not can he beat Wilder or anything.
That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing too. My hypothetical is strictly, how much would y'all need to take a body shot from Mike Tyson?
It ain't enough money in the world because
it ain't enough money for who?
you might not
see my account. My account. Pandemic. Nigga can hit me now.
You gonna be a vegetable for the rest of your life.
That's what I'm eating now because I can't eat. I'm broke. I can't eat.
Bro, the trainer. That's all I'm
saying. That is an underrated movie, man.
The trainer is literally saying, hell no, after the first series of combo. He's walking away from Mike Tyson because he's saying, I don't want to train with you any further because
Yo, did you see that double left hook to the body that he let off?
What's wrong with him?
But then that overhand right. Oh my God.
Before we go, I got a hot take.
Why is he so fast at 53?
Is he a better boxer now than he was in his prime?
I think so.
I think he was always a good boxer, but I think he lost his way. You know, being young and rich, I think he got away from his fundamentals at a point in his career, just relied on his power. But I think when you look at Mike Tyson that was dominating, he was very, very technically sound.
I think it's my fault. Go ahead.
So what I'm gonna say is I think it's almost like a high flyer in the NBA, just a pure dunker. If you don't expand your game than just playing above the rim, you won't have a long career. So as you see, you get older. Vince Carter, he started, really understanding. Let me pull my game back. Same with LeBron James. He realized he's got to play outside of the paint a little bit. Started getting the shot, so he can shoot. He can shoot the three confidently now. And it's the same with a boxer. You may not have that power forever, so you need to refine your boxing skills. And early on in Mike's career, Mike was always going to dominate lesser competition. When we really saw Mike have trouble is those tall, technical, and powerful heavyweights. Yep. That's why he always had trouble with Lennox Lewis. That's why he always had trouble with Holyfield, because he just couldn't just intimidate you and then hit you with something where it's like, hell nah, I ain't about to do this again. They was really gonna box you. They mirrored your head movement. They feinted, and they can hit. They may not hit as hard as you, but you're going to feel it. You dig what I'm saying? So it's not just you just going to sit here and intimidate me with your power because I'm going to make you feel these too. And so I think the lesser competition that he was able to face, he never had to refine his game. He never had to be a boxer. And so that's why you see Wilder. He be looking like, as he stepped up in competition, he started looking a little sus. Yeah, he still beat Ortiz, but he got exposed because Ortiz was out of shape and he ended up punching himself out. And so he was able to come back from that. But then you see Tyson Fury like, shit, I'm just as big as you and I'm gonna make you work. And so I think it expands your skills And so without you expanding yours, you're gonna get lost. And so that's what I've always said about Wilder. If he don't become a better boxer, he's gonna plateau. And so I think that's what Mike Tyson, even though he's not necessarily boxing anymore, you can tell he still hit the pads and stuff like that, and he keeps his hand speed up.
And that's one thing that Custom Model always said about Mike is that he watched more film and studied the game more than any other young professional that he had ever known. It was just unfortunate that when Mike was making that jump to the upper echelon of boxers that AJ was talking about that would require him to be more technical, Custom Model died at that point. And so it's like now you got a young, wild Mike Tyson who knocked out everybody he's faced. So now he stopped believing in the fact that it was the strategy and the technique that got me here. It's like, because now he got a new camp, and his new camp was young and dumb. They were black too, and they were telling him, "You the king, Mike. You can knock out it." No, I'm just saying, like, look at the people in this camp.
Only in America.
And Buster Douglas, like, they used a latex glove for the cold compact. Like, come on now. And so they didn't really know anything about boxing. They telling them, like, Mike, go ahead and knock him out. And it's like, as a young dude with millions and millions of dollars, he just listening to him. So it's like, it's unfortunate that he put on that unprofessional display the latter part of his career. But I think the technical part of boxing has always been inside of him. I think he just lost his way at one point.
Hey, so
that's what I'm saying. I think it's the fact that for me, it's a Jordan aspect. Like, I seen Mike as a youngin, you know what I'm saying? But the prime of Mike was before me. So I seen, like, you know, highlights and what they told me. All I seen was Mike just knocking people out. You know what I'm saying? These Mike highlights. These Mike highlights that he been actually showing, like, ooh, I got defense and I can move. I'm like, hold on, this is technical.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with his technical side back then. So I'm like, he may actually be a better boxer now than he was, but I'm talking about boxer.
Yeah. I mean,
like
experience is always the best.
And I preface that.
So you might be right. I mean, I don't think you're wrong, because it's like
any
boxer is going to get better as old, but it's like his physical kind of still close with his mental, it seemed like. That's the more amazing thing about it. I don't think that Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard could throw punches like this at 53. That crisp and that sharp.
I think Sugar Ray could have thrown with the speed.
But not that power. Because you look at Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray is some shape.
Yeah, he looking kind of old. I seen him recently. I wasn't too impressed. He started to look old.
He's definitely older than. But I'm just saying that power that Mike showed in that video.
That was ridiculous, man.
But
just
AJ,
the whole combination.
I'm telling you right now, whatever he can write me a blank check, nigga. He can punch me in the face.
If he punch you in the face, we ain't gonna be able to talk to you no more, man.
So this takes me to it. Seeing that Mike Tyson is 53, it has me wondering. Y'all ever like tried y'all pops?
One time.
Yeah, one time. Luckily, my pops just walked away from me. Thank God. He said, "Boy, please," and just walked away from me. And I still want to smoke, but he just got in his whip and left. But thank God, man. Thank God.
Shit, your pops hit me before, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was tripping, man.
Big Hill followed me from every room in the house.
Big Hill,
begging me to hit him.
Think about Big Hill. Like, he got a dominating presence, bro. I don't
look.
With the LT earring, I'm like, oh nah, it's over. Hell no.
Yo, he followed me from every room in the house. Told me, hit me, and I'm like, I want to hit him, but like I just knew better.
Thank God,
I'm talking about from my room, their room, my sister's room, living room, garage. He followed me like, what's up? What you gonna do? What's up?
Because he wanted that wreck too. He needed to let some steam off.
He wanted to let me know you ain't gonna ever do this again.
Yeah. Because as soon as you
ain't gonna ever do this.
You might have died, bro.
That was the only. And me and my sister talking about something. Like, you should have hit him. Shut up.
Yeah, all right. She wanted to be the only child. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah, shut
Should have
up.
been
Shut
at your funeral in all black. Talking about, why would he hit him, Lord? Why would he do that?
It was only one time. You tried your pops, AJ?
Hell nah. So
AJ
when I was 13.
Pops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when I was 13, my pops, we was out just, slap boxing. He was like, "You ever like been hit before?" I'm like, "I've been in some fights." And he's like, "So somebody like hit you for real?" And I'm like, "I think so." And he was like, "All right, you can hit me, but if I get a shot, I'm gonna hit you." And so I'm like, "What? This don't sound fun." And he's like, "Nah, you need to know, because if ain't nobody ever hit you for real, you gonna lose this fight, and you can't be out here losing fights. So I need you to make sure your defense is right, you protect yourself and stuff like that." So I'm over here swinging. I left my right out too long, right in the body. Caught me with a liver shot, Hill. This is where I'm all. So you wonder why I go so hard on liver shots. My dad was a concrete finisher, so like he was out there laying concrete all day. He had these big ass like boulders for hands. I peed blood for 3 days. I'm like, I when I got like 16, 17, I ain't never said, like, me and my dad never got, like, we never had a disagreement.
That's crazy.
Like, I was like, yeah, nah, he hit. Not James Williams.
AJ, you know my pops is like the manager or the supervisor of a concrete plant.
He looked. That's why I'm
so
saying.
So now, look,
it
all makes sense.
Hey, to be played with, bro. And
if teenagers are out there listening, if your dad do manual labor, leave that man alone, because he don't just want to take his frustrations with you out on you. He want to take his frustrations out of work on you too.
Even if he don't do manual labor, listen, if your father works hard to provide for your family over the last 30 years, like, don't test this man, because he been waiting to just unleash on somebody for these last 30 years, and it just might be you if you get too big for your britches. Go ahead, do it.
So there's a lot of things that I don't believe in, but one thing that I do believe in is grown man strength.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man who been working hard for the last 30 to 40 years,
ain't nothing like it.
He got some type of strength that is unmatched. I don't care if you 16 and you a 5-star athlete. Yeah. Your pop still can put you the hell down.
That's a fact.
Remember when old Orders broke him down, boy?
Yeah, old Orders, boy. Old Orders, look. Old Orders, boy. Let's snatch up on boy.
I want all of that, boy. I want all of
that. You ain't had all that, did you? Did you, boy?
What did I? I forgot at this point. Okay, boom. Ken, this for you. The Ball family.
Yeah, man. Signed with the Roc.
Yeah, they all joined, Roc Nation.
They couldn't sign with Clutch.
I mean, I think it was smart.
Why couldn't?
I mean, Clutch, anybody is better than signing with Triple B. Get some real management in your life.
So
Roc Nation has a successful roster. They're successful at most of their management, things that they, or clients. Most of the clients that they manage, as far as managerial standpoint, they do pretty good by. So it's like they do better than Triple B. And you could have went with Clutch. You could have went with anybody, but I think it was smart for them just because their dad has that company, don't mean you got to go with that company. If y'all have children, maybe your dad will have that company legit by then, and they can go with them. But right now, Triple B just don't have the resources to manage their caliber of athlete, and that's just my opinion.
Go ahead, AJ.
So I hope I don't take your point, Hill. So I'm gonna try not to dig too deep in it. Just so if it is your point, you can go. You said it's better off signing with Triple B, but what I will say is a lot of the shit that's happening right now can be accredited to LeVar Ball. So I know you're saying it's better to sign him with Triple B, but I don't know, because he's been innovative. Everything you're saying right now is what he was doing. So a lot of people liked his ideas. They just didn't like the messenger. And so that's all it was about. And I'm never gonna downplay, what LeVar Ball did, because he was somebody who believed in his kids. You want, like we always talk about, we need black fathers. We need black fathers. But it's just like with LeBron. When LeBron be courtside at, Bronny games, people want to talk about him saying, oh, he's doing too much. He's doing this. He's doing this. But y'all talk about it, not enough black fathers being here and this and that. And we need more black fathers. Look, a black father is celebrating his kid. So it's the same with LeVar Ball. Yes, he toed the line. Sometimes he crossed over it. But what he didn't do is have a lack of confidence in his kids. And he always pushed them and he always boosted them. And he had the utmost confidence in them. And he is the reason why Hill made the point that these, kids need to start utilizing this G League and the NBA need to utilize this G League. Because the JBA or whatever the ball basketball league he tried to do, This is basically what he was gonna do. Take the high school elite and put them in a league so that they could earn money. He was gonna help, teach them, basic life skills and stuff like that. It was gonna be like an academy and get them prepared for the NBA. So you may not think that it was, but what is one thing that people look for when they look for an agent? Innovation. How can you get me above the rest? How can you market me? And it looked like LeVar Ball.
But it's a reason why
he had it.
All those things you said are true, and I agree with you on those things. But like I said, what did I say? I said maybe if you have kids, you can come back to BBB because it just ain't ready right now. So it's like the things. Yeah, he has some great ideas, and I'm not knocking his ideas, but to manage an athlete like the type of athlete that he's trying to manage, he's going to need capital and resources that he technically don't have right now. That a Roc Nation or Clutch has more, or what's the organization that starts with a C? Not Octagon, but what's
CAA?
Yeah, CAA. So it's like these people just have more resources. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying it's not I'm not knocking what he did or saying that anything that he did as a father was wrong. I'm just saying it's a smart move for them to go with Roc Nation at this time because Roc Nation is better positioned.
But resources are basically nothing but a relationship.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Every agent who gets in the game, especially I don't care how big of an agent you are now, you weren't an agent until you got your first client. And he has his first client. And once you get that client, you're able to talk to other clients. And guess what? He has another son who's a potential top 5 draft pick. So he has the potential to have 2 clients already inside his family tree. And
you see what I'm saying? So how's he going to compete with a Clutch?
But that's my thing. Clutch was LeBron at first.
Yeah.
You got to start at LeBron.
But he also didn't rape over LeBron or wasn't doing things or put.
But but that's the thing. It wasn't LeVar Ball. It was someone else that LeVar brought in to try and gain those resources, like you were saying that he needed. It was a relationship. He brought in a bad relationship. It happened.
But you see what I'm saying? There's been mistakes that have been made because LeVar, this ain't his arena. The one arena that he's been great in is being a father. And I'm not gonna take anything. He's been above and beyond as a father, but as a sports businessman, he ain't the best at that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's people who's better than him, which is why I said give him time to build that brand and get that brand. Maybe y'all could do it later in your career. And who knows? I'm sure they didn't sign an indefinite deal with Roc Nation, but it's like now, I don't think that Triple B is in a place. And you see what happened with him and Zoe publicly. Like Zoe got into a legal dispute with BBB over money that's owed to him.
Yeah, but he got tired. That's different. He got tired with that dude that stole that money.
That's what I was saying.
Who hired that dude? You see what I'm saying?
Of course, everything like you said. What AJ said, he definitely took all my points, but I love it. But but you think about it. If you really listen to LeVar, he been trying to find a partner from the jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
He been saying, "Come work with us. Come work with us." And you think about, let's break down Jay-Z's history. Of course, Jay-Z not going to be hands-on with this situation, but let's break down. Jay-Z had to deal with Dame Dash.
Yeah, and LeVar is like a perfect example of that.
Thank you. And same thing. Dame Dash was talking a whole bunch of, ownership. Do it by yourself. but he was, you know, he did it. He was loud to do it.
He was too loud.
So Jay-Z can use his experience, can use this innovation that LeVar wants to do, and they can build.
Which is why I said it was a smart move. I agree 100% with that.
I never said it wasn't. I never said it wasn't smart. I'm just saying we got to give props to Lamar.
I never knocked him.
Yeah.
I'm not like everybody else that's hating on him.
Only thing difference I say about you, AJ, is he could have did the same thing with Clutch.
Who could have done the same thing with Clutch?
The Ball family.
No, the only reason why I said that because LeVar was kind of joking, he was kind of talking about, you know, Zoe being more important than LeBron and stuff like that. And so you know LeBron a little sensitive, so I was like, yeah, he ain't signing with Clutch.
But Bron has a relationship with Zoe still though.
I know.
Bron about business.
That was to the show.
It was specifically a troll. It was just a troll.
Yeah.
It was just a troll.
It got validity.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But it was just a troll.
I think ultimately Bron will come down when it comes down to business. Bron gonna choose business first over emotion, and it's like I think that Roc Nation just swooped in and sealed the deal. I don't think it have anything to do with Clutch, you know. And it's not a bad place. It's not a bad place to be. I don't think Roc Nation's gonna run the ball boys into the ground or anything. Like, I think they'll grow while they're there, and they might learn enough to go back to BBB and build and help LeVar build that to where it needs to be. Because they're gonna have the resume once they leave Roc Nation.
Yeah, and I mean, you could drop an agency, you know, it ain't never hurt nobody. So just like
don't sign long-term deals like Hill said. And that's why I said I'm sure that they didn't, because these boys been thinking business before the average athlete that wants to be an athlete. Mm-hmm. Most athletes are just thinking, work on my game. These boys been thinking my game and business the whole time. So I think they would be dumb if we read out and found out that they signed like a 10-year deal with Roc Management. I think it's probably a 3 to 5 year deal, honestly. And when it's done, I think either you go with your own, or if they've done great by you, then you just, you do what's best for you and your family, man. But I don't think it's a bad move.
I know for a fact that LeVar's not about to sign no deal that he ain't got no type of creative control over. Like, he's going to work with them, you know. Right. Or if they might have just said, hey, you know, we done with you. It is what it is.
But I think they still going to work with him because they love, he their daddy at the end of the day. They love bro. So it's like, it ain't like they don't want him to be a part of that, but it's just like, I think he had too much control, more than they would have wanted to for their own career. And if you just look at it, as much control as he had when Zoe was at BBB, most agents even though they have control like that, they're not displaying that type of control publicly over their clients. And I think that was something because naturally as a young man,
because he's had control over you your whole life because of your daddy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was gonna say. Naturally, as a young man, you eventually want to get up out of your father's shadow.
Was it good?
So it's like,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, all young dudes want to get up out of their father's shadow. So it's like it was gonna come to a head at some point.
You got bottomless mimosas, Cannon?
It look like it though, don't he though?
Nah, I don't.
So look, right. So I don't know what our time is right now, but I really wanted to say, what we got?
12 minutes.
I bet. Bradley Chubb sent a tweet out during the draft. And I don't have the tweet out right now because I'm on my phone. He basically summed it up like, oh, they got to just highlight every negative story about every draft pick, like every time somebody gets drafted. And that became a running narrative towards everybody. Everybody wanted to highlight, oh man, ESPN got an ulterior motive. They just want to just keep highlighting all the negative. But then when somebody of another ethnicity want to show up, they don't want to say nothing to them. It's all positive.
I can read the tweet verbatim if you like. I got it right here.
Thank you.
I understand everybody has a story and motivation, but ESPN doesn't have to highlight the worst moment that happens in some of these folks' lives. Am I tripping?
No, you're not.
That's the tweet.
No, you're not tripping. And this goes back to something that we here at Three Man Weave have already touched on. And this was not my topic. This was not AJ's topic. This was not Hill's topic. This was Michelle's topic. And she wanted to know, did black trauma sell more than like black positivity or black love and stuff like that? And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper because I told you I'm a competitive show watcher here, and so I've been watching shows lately. And I'm not gonna lie, the last two shows that I've watched have been all mostly white characters, maybe one or two black characters in there, but not main characters. These shows were highly involved in trauma too, and so I don't even think it's a black or white thing. I think trauma sells more than positivity. Period. Even if you think about a love story that you've seen, any love story, like one of the characters is going, like their love is going to almost be impossible to happen. They're going to have to go through trauma to achieve their love story, even in a love story. And it's like, in most love stories, somebody either die at the end or they can't be together forever. There's always something that's, the trauma is present always. And I think that's because in real life, no one can relate to just everything going great all the time, because nothing just goes great ever. And so that's not really relatable. It's like those stories that everything goes mostly well most of the time are folk and fairy tales. And it's like those genres are for kids. It's like, so it's like I think Michelle, she hit it with the trauma piece, because like as much as ESPN probably not even cognizant of what they're doing, they're people who they're producers and the people that want to make the headlines, they're interested in that type thing. Like, oh, he got in trouble last year for stealing laptops. That's more juicy than he started his own business on campus to help kids who couldn't afford work study earn some money. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's an old saying.
Go ahead, AJ.
Bad news travels fast. You feel me?
What's gonna be the lead story on the nightly news? Kids selling lemonade or car accident?
Car accident every time.
Car accident every time.
So it's like people want, like, it's a nasty society that we live in. People want to see blood. People want to see bloodshed.
They absolutely do.
People want to see that. But what I don't like is, I don't know, like, well, let me rephrase this. If ESPN is doing the digging and putting these stories up on their draft card when these kids get drafted, then I have a problem with it. But if they're going to them and saying, you know what, we're going to send a camera crew to your house, we're going to highlight your story about, this and that. Like T. Higgins. T. Higgins said, he's proud of that moment because it shows what his mother has fought through. Because his mother at one point she was addicted to drugs. Some people are saying, you know what, I'm proud of where she's come. I don't know if he's saying that now because it became a story, or what, or he wants that highlighted so maybe he can share the story and share the struggle with other people who can be in that situation and help them. But if ESPN is just doing this on their own by doing their own investigative journalism and then putting that out and posting this on these kids, days, then I have a problem with that. And I have to think that it's possibly that they are because of Bradley Chubb. He got drafted.
Yep.
So he would know
about the process.
I think about the process, and he was a top pick. So I think he would know, hey, they're gonna, run this story, or if they don't. So I think they should have some, like, I know you have the freedom of speech and there's a portion of investigative journalism that you have to have, but come on, man, this is the draft.
You just said it. If you're an and I know you want to go here, but just real quick, if you are an investigative journalist, why are you only investigating the negative? If I'm a true investigative journalist, then I would have went and found the true story, the whole story, and I would have just delivered that, not just one side. My bad, Hill. Go ahead.
Nah, it's nothing against you. I'm gonna just start going before AJ because he stole my whole point again. But but the thing about it is, like you said, T. Higgins has been promoting the story to highlight his mother's progression of her addiction. Like, that's his MO.
Yeah.
Like he's been showing that off. You know what I'm saying? But nobody highlights on I think it was, I'm loosely quoting it. I think it was Eno Benjamin, right?
Yep.
He had a clothing line.
Clothing line. Yep.
Yeah.
They promoted that on ESPN now. Yeah. Nobody wants to say nothing about that though.
Yeah. That's
right.
True.
I truly don't get me wrong.
That's
like
true,
you said,
yeah.
if they've been doing their investigating and they've been trying to find a story for you without your consent, then cool. I'm definitely not gonna ride with you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ride with you. But this year I watched every pick of the draft.
Yeah.
I didn't get that sense of, you know what, this another side story. This another side story. Oh, this another side story.
I didn't actually get that feeling either. But I mean,
I didn't get
the tweet brought it to my awareness, and it's a legitimate. It has validity. It's thought provoking, and it made me think. I don't necessarily know if that's their motive. I will hope it's not, and I will hope, like AJ said, if they are going to be investigative reporters, that they're doing that with fidelity and not just being half-assed.
Like when we highlighted last year the Jeffrey Simmons thing, that ain't had nothing to do with investigative nothing. That was a motive.
Yeah.
Right.
That thing happened in high school.
Yeah.
And y'all brought footage and everything in high school and tried to put this on this man. You know what I'm saying? That's 4 or 5 years later. You try to put that on that man then. Y'all was talking about cases that might have happened. Okay, he had a couple character issues. Like, Christian Fulton.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a couple character issues. Okay. Honestly, that might have been why he dropped.
Yeah.
And people have been doing this things that they didn't make this stuff up. Don't get it twisted.
So it's like,
these are not made up stories. If you wasn't messing up, it wouldn't be a story.
That's a fact.
Same thing like Eno Benjamin. Yeah. He had a clothing line. They had nothing negative to say.
And so they had to talk about that.
They talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop giving them something negative to say, and they ain't got nothing to do.
I always say that.
So we can't keep looking at. They only highlighting the negative. Stop fucking up.
Stop giving them the negative to highlight. But
stop giving them something.
Right. My biggest issue with the draft, it wasn't the negative stories. My biggest issue was out of all the first round picks, it was one white dude. The rest was minorities that got picked.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at all them war rooms outside of Miami, in San Diego, how many
in Cleveland?
Oh yeah, in Cleveland, how many like front office executives did we see making decisions with minorities? I mean, we've gotten into this. We've gotten into this plenty of times, so it's
what can we do?
There's no. But see, that's the thing. You ever notice how we always got to be the one to fix the problem? How we gonna fix the problem going up?
You can't rely on nobody else to fix it. We're gonna have to. I think.
How?
I think the fact that we have those Chris Greers of the world. I think those are. When you think back to sports and the color line being broken, and you look at Jackie Robinson, someone's got to kick the door down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not only do they got to kick the door down, they got to live up to the expectation after they kick the door down. And I think, granted, it's not going to happen overnight, and I'm not saying, but I think, with Chris Greer and those, and I don't even really like Chris Greer.
You don't.
And that's just a personal thing. It has nothing to do with his job. I don't like him because of one decision that he made as a GM that I thought wasn't smart. But I think, like, overall, as a black front office person in the NFL, I think he's doing a good job of pushing the genre forward for us. But I think people gotta be willing to follow up. You see what I'm saying? So if I kick the door in, Hill, and you're not on my 6, ready to follow through, then what's the point? So it's like, we got to put ourselves in, just like you said, stop getting them negative. So now we got to put ourselves in position. We got to get educated. We got to take the right steps to become front office people in the sports that we know that we dominate. And then when we retire, also, once we play the sport and we're educated and we leave, don't just leave and retire and ride off into the sunset. Be like John Elway and them. Go get into the front office.
But we are.
But that's
putting ourselves in position because
exactly.
Look at all the assistant coaches. A lot of the assistant coaches, the positional coaches, they us. They're of color. I'm not gonna say this out loud and just say be Wrong. A lot of scouts are African American.
Absolutely, that's
they
a fact.
really doing the brunt work for the GM.
Yeah,
they not getting the credit for that. Like everybody hate the Cowboys and everything. The Cowboys have went out their way to show Will McClay love. Will McClay is an African American. Will McClay gets paid like a GM. They went out their way to show Will McClay some love for his draft. He doesn't have the title of a GM, so he might not be known to the masses. But I'm just saying that they did that to show him love. He definitely deserved to be a GM somewhere, even though he technically the GM for the Cowboys. Okay, cool. But let's rewind before AJ go. Ozzie Newsome, one of the best GMs that
recent times.
He retired.
Yep.
His apprentice, Eric DeCosta.
Yep. Swagged
out the draft. Worked under him, learned from him. Swagged out the draft. Had one of the best drafts, that we've known. Ozzie Newsome could have put one of us on.
I mean,
why didn't he?
But I mean, technically he could have. But here's the thing: like, when you live in an organic workspace, right? I may want to put on. So it's like, all right, I do stats, right? I could be saying, Hill, AJ, like, it's money and stats. Let me put y'all on, right? And y'all never take it that serious, right? And then if a young white boy come with me and want to intern and do stats, and he become a stat guru, is that my fault that I pass it on to him? I tried to. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back to my point. And I don't disagree with your point because we're saying the same thing, but it's like, people got to be ready to follow up on what Ozzie has done. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, he kicked down the door. It ain't his job to hold your hand and walk you through it. Now, if DeCosta wanted to pick his brain and learn everything from him, and he want to go through the door, not my fault, bro.
But also, to play devil's advocate, a lot of the minority people that we see in this position, like you said, they have to they have to put themselves in position to be qualified.
Absolutely.
The minority people that we see in my mind, I believe they actually have to put themselves in position to be overqualified.
Absolutely. And I'm with that 100%.
You have to be overqualified because we've seen plenty of GMs out there who take me back to my Mike Mayock point, like that I made last season. What did you really prove to us that you could be a GM? Whether you succeed or not, what did you really prove to us outside of having relationships? And that's one of the things that's what the NFL is truly all about, is having relationships. And it's really hard, even as a player, to break that relationship into that next level. Because if you look at a lot of these coaching staffs and a lot of these scouting departments, a lot of those last names are familiar. They're of former coaches, former GMs, and stuff like that. So if you look at it, like just on the Bengals staff, Brian Callahan, he's our offensive coordinator. I mean, that like Kyle Shanahan, it's a hand-me-down thing. So it's not necessarily
Brian Schottenheimer.
So you're talking
Rex
about
Rob Ryan.
Exactly. So you're saying black people have we have to put ourselves in position to be qualified. It's really hard when you're competing with like nepotism as well. So that's why I said you have to be overqualified, because I put my resume next to your son's resume. Who are you giving that shot to?
Absolutely.
Because now, like you said, I'm a scout. Your son's a scout. Who's gonna get up there further? Even if I scouted Khalil Mack from Buffalo, and your son, he scouted a kicker. But guess what? Let's go ahead and give Junior a shot here.
Yep, that's just how it is, man.
And so that's why I say.
So what could we do? So what do we do? What do we do?
We just have to stay the course, man. And as more and more,
at some point, man,
to me, that's like when civil rights, like when the old people during the civil rights time talk about we just got to pray. that ain't gonna work.
But see, I'm not saying do nothing. When I say stay the course, that's not do nothing. That might be what you're taking it as. Stay the course means overqualify yourself. You just told us what we need to do. So if you need to be overqualified and you're not, and you're applying in a rigged game, then that's just dumb. So it's like, and I'm not knocking you, but if you know the game, so it's like, if I go to the corner to play dice, right, and I know J-Bo down there, and J-Bo play with loaded dice, I'm not putting no money down. You see what I'm saying? I'm coming back when I know the game is set up fairly. And if I know J-Bo gonna always be there because he's monopolized this block, then I'm going to try to rig a part of the game too for myself, so that I can be competitive when I go down here with these loaded dice. So this is my thing. I got one more point. The situation, right? We got a few black people out there, and it's like they all don't have GM titles, but there's Will McClays in the NFL. There's some Doug Williamses in the NFL who have been building that equity, and I think we just have to continue to do it. But my number one thing was, when a lot of players retire on some Elway type stuff, black players tend to retire and want to ride off into the sunset. You're going to have to start trying to get into ownership and front office as retired players to open up more doors. And so that's what I mean by stay the course. I don't mean just sit there and do nothing and pray and wish. And that anything, prayer without works is dead anyway. So it's like, if I pray to God, like, God, please let me get some money, but I don't put in no job applications or anything, like, He not going to give me no money. So it's like, I put the work in. But it's an uphill battle. Is it going to be easy? No.
Hey, if I go to J-Bo block, I'm hitting him with the back door, Lil Joe.
You like the dice, huh? Here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, man.
I guess so. Just to make my point, for me personally, I just feel like stay the course and get yourself qualified. But I do think that sometimes the goalposts will move. This ain't the best. This ain't the best example ever, but it's a starting point. If we look at Sashi Brown, everyone was telling us the reason why there's not a lot of black people in the front office, because the front offices are moving to analytics. Sashi Brown, what was he? He was an analytics guy. Yep. He got in there, it was analytics. He started getting rid of players, acquiring draft picks, acquiring draft capital, and he was trying to make those moves. And we all know, when you're rebuilding through the draft, nothing's going to be instant. They got Sashi Brown out of there right before they started to really reap those benefits of those players that were, growing and drafting. That's how they were able to acquire, Baker Mayfield, get their quarterback and stuff like that. And they got him out of there. And so that's all I wanted to say. It's not a great point, but that it kind of shows like, yeah, you know at analytics, the numbers, drafts. You're not going to see your return after the first draft or the second draft, because you can't really grade a draft after 3 years. But to go back to what I just want to end it with, all of our listeners, I need y'all to do some homework. Give us some ideas on how to fix the front offices and what we can do so that, we can get more minorities in there. What are your ideas? What are your thoughts on how we can fix this problem in the front office?
Because Dave Gettleman got a job.
Yeah.
Dave Gettleman.
Who? But this is another thing that minorities got to do when they get jobs, is make sure that that you're a pleasant employee on the workforce. And it goes back to what we were talking about the Kaepernick thing. And it's like, and I know you're gonna hate this analogy, AJ, but it's like the Kunta Kinte thing. So it's like, if I go to my job and I'm purposely trying to upset the work environment, at their first opportunity they'll be trying to get rid of me. So it's like, if I'm a Sashi Brown and I'm doing the analytics thing and I'm killing the draft, but I ain't pleasant on my job, they might get rid of me. And we don't know how he was on the job. I'm not saying that. This is just a thing. We as minorities got to make sure, like you said, got to be overqualified. So it's like, when you go to the job, you got to make sure you ain't giving them no reason to put you out. You got to be doing your job. You got to be a pleasant person. You got to take everything to the max. And it's sad, but that's the only way we're going to make a dent.
That was episode 71. You can catch it on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's AJ. That's Cannon.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave. We come at you with topics. No, you cannot stop it.